Hey, you tourists, it's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basics. You're gonna do this is how we do Texas, baby. Man, $1 back. You know what it is, know what it is. The only place, go get, is right back of basic. You're gonna do this is how we do Texas, baby. Man, $1 back. You know what it is. Real man rise up, fake man rise down. Real woman rise up, fake woman rise down. Practice what I preach and preach on. And today's topic we're gonna talk about is listen to this. Black Americans have few years to live. Here's why. Oh, great. It's a good one. I want to hear this. Margaret, whatever her name, Mefford Gold and Blumen and students to head in their classroom in the mobile headed to their class in the mobile classroom and unit at the JV Martin Junior High School in Dealer, South Carolina, in July 23. The average African American male lives 5 years less than average white American male. The death of the 18-year-old Michael Brown de Ferguson, Missouri, and promoted a national conversation about race and justice system, and many of including of these existed at the and policemen and these in separation that apart from the race and seen is unexplainable. The health is also far from the disposed racial. While Americans has been prominent on this front, including through the Offering of Care Act and many gaps of recent precedents between blacks and whites. And identity issues in healthcare that they lead to a short lifespan from Black Americans to start before birth. The average black baby is entered to the world under the different circumstances than the average white baby, and the gap only grows between birth and death. You know what they're trying to say? In 2012, it's about 13% of babies born to the black mothers from low birth weight and less than 2.500 grams, and comparison from a 7% of babies born to white mother. You know, oh God. And adamant to the Center from Disease Control and Preferment, while the indefendment of the mortality rate from the white males. Mortal rate of white Americans is the 5.2 interfaps of out of 1,000 of birth of dying before one age, into the monitoring rate for the black Americans is much higher. See, 11.5% and 1,000 put in the population and sub-idle near part of the Mexico, you know, man, into the difference to isolation from one factory as the cause of lower birth rate, weight, lower birth rate, and the higher effective and mortally longs of black babies. Many of the concerningly the factor and continue to a perfect storm. Black babies are more likely to be born to young, less and healthy, less of educated mothers with an addition are less likely to be married and less to receiving of the parent caring thing than for white you know, oh man, for black mothers at the ages from the 20 or 24 or the common for the giving birth to follow by the 25 and 29 white mothers giving birth lower. I mean, giving birth. White mothers giving birth later. The 25 to 29. It's a popular rate than 30 or 31. See, this is why I don't have kids, and when I do, I will make the right decision having a kid. But fellas, control your sperm because stuff like this, it just, oh man, and are far than less likely to give birth as the teenager. In 2012, one of the third of the living birth to white unmarried women, while more than two-thirds of birth to a black breed, the single mother meaning of a potential from less than standard of growing up, but more than that. And I mean, it's more than less healthy and the poverty rate from the families from the marriage couples about 6% in 2003 you know, about comparative from 2003 about comparative with comparative with the 30s percent for 30% for of the families with a female head of household with no husband present. You know, oh man, this as a matter to the concept of concept of while the child is born to the you know, oh man, oh god, this is really pisses me off. This is really pisses me off when you hear stuff like this. These people, man, they all about control. They all about control, and can you really get mad at them for thinking the way they do? And anyway, the child's born into a married couples are more likely to finish you know, this is a black person, right? I bet you this is a black person. Lizzie Cooks. It might be a white woman say this stuff. You never know. I bet you it's a white woman. Or because the way it said, find a good job and have a successful marriage and mount to the New York Times. These people, man, they all about control. They are really like this. They are. They play this God like, you know, they ain't no, question is they ain't no gods. They gets on my nerves. When the people ever gonna be free? And also more than pregnancy to black women are unplanned and wild and 20% of birth to wild white mothers between 2006 and 2010 are effectively of half of the birth are white mothers, or this is the department of the competent to less than and percent apparently of the education and health of the mother and sexually acted a black woman reported likely accompanied it is using than white woman. Right along the pairing tracks of breastfeeding has been breastfeeding has lifelong healthy and benefit for the babies, including as the reason of risk from hospitalized from the low of the respondent as the tractable disease in the first place, and lower of the chances of amygdala and childhood obesity. Excuse me, I'm just really tired because this stuff, man, This stuff just, oh man. Type 2 obesity, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and subtly infected of death and syndrome from the mother breastfeeding is these case her of risk for breast and overcondensate of cancer despite this and the other benefit of black babies are breastfeeding as the about half of the rate as the white babies. See, this is the mindset, I'm superior, I'm inferior, that I'm talking about. They need to get rid of that, because they need to start looking at people as human, and regardless what race they are. And look at this guy right here. What his name is? David Duke. Fuck David Duke. Fuck him. This guy is a racist, and this guy's been known as joining the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, you know, who want to be friends with a racist? If I was a friend, if I was a racist, they wouldn't want nothing to do with me. No, they need to destroy these people. These people, they all about control. They are really like this. And America hate to admit when they're wrong. They hate that. But they need to look at their choice they make. And we fucking with the other countries too. We're going to be destroyed. We really is. And we deserve it, because we played this God-like. But here are my warnings. Yeah, go ahead and do this, because you've been warned. And much as the difference can be, is likely to less than educated about the benefit of the breastfeeding, and few options in the workplace from breastfeeding, and the parents of visit and present as an opportunities to discuss a breastfeeding, but a black woman are less likely to receive it. Parent care, young mothers are more likely to receiving a parent care and less access, meaning the response of I can't even get I can't even add the appointment. I can't even add an appointment early in my pregnancy, which was the comment of the reason for mothers to not getting the parent care, followed by I don't know, I was pregnant. See, you know what they're saying? If a woman get pregnant on purpose, basically saying she should have did it while she was married. That's what they're saying. It's not her fault. It's the guy's fault, you know. And we know this come from. We know where it started. But it's the guys, right? But you know what, fellas, you really can't get mad at them for thinking like this, because who the men they always concerned about is always black males. They don't say that to no other men than black men, and I'm just sick of it. I can't wait till these people need to be dealt with, because these people don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about us, and you can tell they don't say it. And I don't even have enough money, but you know, men gonna start saying, you know what? What's the point of being a father? You know, they gonna be looking stupid. You know, same thing. What's the women gonna start saying? What's the point of being a mother? Or insurance to pay for my visit, as added to a 2000 and sub-arrangement founded by the CDC, and the death. I'm just sorry. I'm just pissed off when I read this kind of stuff. Death associated from the pyramid of constant and final death of the death of the newborn into first year of life, first week of life, are responsible for a 0.306 the loss of years of life experiencedly for blacks. The list of the concerns into the deaths are from the predicament of maturity and lower birth weight, and a material compoundment of the pregnancy and birth effects and birth stigma and gap into the caring gap into caring lacking into health caring as gain as cause and compliment because recent for the a lifetime and compounded to the whites more than black children has the non-release is the source of the health care more than black children under the six having no health invite which in the year and more than black children and to the with the with the with the I'm just pissed off when I hear this kind of stuff. Vice in the Vice man. I'm just sorry. I'm just sorry because it needs to change, man. Because I don't get this whole mindset. I really don't. I don't get it. Invite an emergency room adamant to the CDC. Black children also have been more likely to get a full and seasoning of the vaccine. You know what? Vaccine are the a real reason why people get HIV. Fuck vaccine. Fuck vaccine. Which is 95% of the infected men between 19 months and 35 months are delivered all of their shots in 2012 compatible. Compatible with a 69% of whites. Eden inhabits listed as a young age, but is by offering a fallen us into adulthood by high school. There is already divided but between the blacks and the whites and the content of the health food with the black student more black student more likely to say they do not eating fruits or vegetables or drinking milk or eating breakfast in the last week and adamant to the a 2003 sunrent from the CDC. Black student also is logging behind the whites and Hispanic in a physical activity, while the 13% of whites and 16% of Hispanics said they did not even participate in the 60 minutes of the physical activity for of the 7 days of leading to the sediment the 22% of black students said the same thing. Half of the of whites or perhaps is the physical of act on the 5 or more than a day, but the 41% of the black students are more than in half of black students watching of television for 3 or more hours a day and comparative with the white or quarters of white student. Those trends continue in adulthood, while the 22% of white adults, meaning of both as the adamant activity as the muscles as strengthening of the guideline from the CDC in 2012. 17% of blacks did. At every age, blacks are more likely to be obesity than whites. And adamant to the in data from the journeys of the American uh, 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 and meditate, associate part of this because the faculty is already discussed a different in care dated back to the womb, but is the economy as the faculties is probably it to play a role as well because of blacks are more likely to be in poverty. They or have been a few scrabble of I don't like this. They putting everybody down, make them feel like an option, which is come to the working and the child care. These people, they all about control. That's what they about. They all about control. They trying to build this perfect human being, this eugenics. That's what it sounds like to me. When people say that, in other words, you're not Aryan. And no offense to white folks, but y'all been lied to. These people need to, they need to get rid of these people because these people need to start telling the truth. And somebody need to see it to it because what they're doing, they playing this game. They want to offend the races for what? Because they gods like they ain't no gods. They ain't nothing for false image. That's all they are. I just want to punch them in their fucking face, man. But God gonna get these people. These people, man, they made me sick with this. They really do. But some people live in fear. That's all. But I'm not. And found it harder to for experience as the class or legitimate from the fresh and healthment of food and access in a issue. One report found there are 50% few chain of food supermarket and predominantly dominantly of black communities than in white communities. Income and educated difference of can relate from obesity in women or more than in women. Women are more likely to be obesity as education and income and descendancy for the men. Obesity and conservative into sensitively as the all income level and adamant to the research from the CDC. Obesity is contributed. BBC contributed. BBC is contributed to the health and the and consensus that is this important potential potential affect black Americans as lead to the earliest death as the oh man. As much as the obesity, as much as obesity, as much as obesity and heart disease, and these concerns are requested a concern of health, fighting and to presentment of the covers of age to the management of property, but yet more blacks than whites don't have a usual source of health care. Long as the term is competent as the long expendable, more black Americans say they experience indeed license or they did not receive into need Medicaid care or the constant of the during to the cost. In fact, these like these meaning blacks are 12% likely to whites to having the same blood pressure under the pressure, and probably at a 40% unlikely 40% in case in the likelihood of having high blood pressure. Cancer is related to the cancer relate the death also is adamant from the parts of the life expensively of the gap between blacks and whites, and annually of for 1634 years of worth of worth I'm just sorry. I'm just sorry, people. I'm gonna keep going. It just, this is sad. This is sad. I mean, I'm just really fed up with this. When this is why I don't like reading articles like this, because what do they want? Anyway, let me go back to this. Okay, worth. I mean, and worth of lost life as expended for the blacks into term of the years of age, years of loss before the age of 75. Black Americans lost nearly as 1.796.7 years, perhaps as 1,000 members of the population during to cancer death, while white Americans lost 420 years through the eugenics. I figure it's going to be not eugenics. Genetics. I figure it's going to be genetics. Genetics may be somehow responsible for from much as the differences considered associated the economy of the faculties as much as a diet and lifestyle and a lack of the presenting of care or far greater in the concept of the U.S. and racial and ethnicity groups. Black Americans have the highest cancer to related to death rate and the short of survival from the most of the cancer as an amount to the to American Cancer Society and the much common cancer from the blacks in the U.S. are restated lungs and the cognitive and the rate of cancer for women. They are breasted and lung and the cognitive of cancer. The gap into the percent of health has borrowed in the last decade from the president, the protested during that led to the early cancer diagnosis and more Americans under the goal those of protein and the test, while in 2000 only 20% of white Americans and 18% of black Americans at the age of 50 to 75 as the in the cognizant scope by the 55% of white Americans did. And 52% of black Americans did. Blacks and white women have the common and many as about the same rate and homicide are responsible for the homicide are responsible for 0.5 years of worth of losing life, precisely for blacks and whites lose a life for 100 years, perhaps is 1,000 people under the age 75 during in the homicide. Blacks lose more life than 80 years. There's a difference. The difference is the most ranked from the white males between 15 and 24. HIV is also perhaps is the differences in the years. And losing whites are losing 30 years to HIV, while the blacks losing 100 years into 2010. There are 1% of death for white males, perhaps in 1,017 deaths. For the black males, perhaps 1,000 because of HIV. For women, its rate or 0.4 on the death for whites that commented from the 8 for blacks. And the difference of HIV wouldn't even go anywhere anywhere time soon. For the women in 2001, and 64% of all the new diagnosis there is in African American, for the men for 42% or the in African Americans. The difference of HIV education and the test that showed the early of on for blacks and whites, while 87% of white high schoolers said they were taught about HIV. They've been taught about AIDS or HIV in school, and sight few black kids said the same thing. 82%, near of 20% of black students said they has been tested for HIV, and compared to with the 100% of white students. Through the tested in these patchment of making sense, the come cited its difference is the a sexual act for students. About 61% of the black students said they have sexually. See, you see that you see this, man. You see this. You see what I'm talking about? They said this. Black students said they have a sexually intercourse comparison with the about 44% of whites, while the 3.3% of whites said they had sex before 13 and 14. Blacks said the same thing. Of course, it happens to any other race. And in the further review and the conversation and persona as also is shown the difference near 70 years of loss for the whites comparison from the with 110 years of loss for blacks. And vaccine is protect between both of these concerns. How vaccine, man, I ain't got nothing to say to that one. And the fluidly vaccine improved as a fluid, which is the comment of the cause of the vitamin of Guantanamo into adults as a vitamin to the of the American Lungs Association and the president of cortisol of vaccine protects against the comment of the cause of the practical or medical. Again, a difference is the preferred of the healthcare to let more deaths for blacks and more of the protection for whites. You see that, man? This is really pissing me off, man. And some hardly change could be on the in the hospital law as the first age percentage on the uncertainty of Americans drops from 18% in 2003 to 13.4% after the rush of the meat to the April 2014 deadline from the affecting the CARE Act at the first enrollment as the element to the government the uncertainty of rent for the black Americans has been the highest. It was 17% in 2003 comparison of 12% for whites. Between October 2013 and June 2014, 1.7 million African Americans age of 18 and 64 gaining a health care and health care insurance. health. Gaining a health insurance. Yeah, gaining healthcare and gaining healthcare insurance. And gaining health insurance covered the age. The ACA has also made it providable the health or more of more affordment of the conservatory of the several of other areas in which is the Black Americans of Limit of Health, while is included as the project as the concept and a subset, a concept of the minimal covered age to the more than 390,000 Black women, precisely are recent in the gain in the health insurance and the many of racial gaps in the insurance access. Insurance access remains and will no doubt continue to be a hot topic for the policies makers and the research in 2015. Copyrighted for 2014 United States News and World Reporters. Let's hear the people say, are you goddamn kidding me? Another race story about the beta for of being white. I am so sick and tired of the media calling blacks or African Americans. We are pathetic. Whites are just white. From now on, I'm gonna call Caucasian or a Caucasian American. Call me white is racist. I mean, it is ridiculous, man. Your race, the people are actually red. And the Bible says you are red, Esau and Jacob. Brother come out red. All over like hairy and God meant, and white means pure and hot. Man, come on, man. I didn't believe none of that. All pure means you clean. It had nothing to do because you're white. It just system just based upon and favor to whites. Not all, but many of that, and not unfavored to blacks. And it hurt them at and great. But black means everywhere or dark. Dark or dirty and deadly and evil. My skin color is not black. We know that the color black is. I am brown, but my heritage is legitimate from calling myself American. I am not a descendant from Americans and bereavement of the Italians who stole the land, right along with others English as much as the famous Christopher Columbus. You can call that to the other, so they call Negroes in America, but this is not one. Chris Ray, respect and love one. Chris Ray, respect, one love. Hey Chris, are you saying you're not American? And I'll start working at home in Google. It's a far the best job I ever had. Last Thursday, I got a brand new BMW since the getting a check for 64 and 74. This a 4 weeks past, and I began this 8 months ago, and absolutely to bring home at least 700 then appointment hour. I work through this and link go. I think that young black males killing young black males is just maybe might play a role also. Just guess. The same thing over and over again. How can we stop the young poor, and stupid African American girls from getting knocked up by dumb, poor, who wouldn't work thugs hanging on the street. You ain't, man. Perhaps imperatively of Obama don't know the answer either, or they are surely not even tempted to try. Yeah. The media just keep the hate machine going, don't they? Every day they and churn me out a story on racism on the kind or another. Shame, how do they wash it off the blood at night? You ain't kidding. With most blacks detested in the low and intelligent without a Massimo ad, they already receiving from these from the social servant. Should they be in the vitamin experiment? The one thing that keeps them going is the largement of the majority. I don't know what that means, but anyway, and constantly post David. These people, man, I tell you, truth hurts. Truth hurts again, man. I tell you, I see the comments being stripped out of anything negative directly at the Obama failure to change things. Infamo at the media, there is no first commandment in the comments in sight. Jeez. Takes away from the white men from the USA present as a modern day Sunnism. How stupid some can be like this a person to write this article. Anybody lifestyle and what they are trying to expose to the environment or the decent of the faculties on how long as anyone lives. I know for a fact that a longer of life in the issue of the colors, of the skin color, health and nourishment as the accident and disease and violence and peace are the some ways of the issues of and many of the choices in every person make that come monument how long a person lives. But it's not their side to go. It's only God's side to go. Real God. My grandmother lived to 91. We're not white. How many people to see that 90s, perhaps of a race? Hollywood celebrities are dying each year in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. Cosmo was 81. And Douglas was 82. So much lies in the media. It has something to do with diet and experiment and lifestyle. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Anyway, who write this article right here? Whatever her name is Lizzie Cook. She need her ass whooped. Because what give her right to say who can live more, who better? You see what I'm talking about? These people try to compare between the black and the white. They still believe this theory. It goes back to the curse of Ham. Let me explain to you what that means. What that means to say, whenever since, let's go back to Cain and Abel. When Cain killed Abel, somehow God put a mark curse on him. In other words, he stopped believing the Father. It had nothing to do with the damn color of the goddamn skin. So they trying to say he went from a white man to a black man. That's what they're saying. But if they read in the Bible what's in that text, they'll know what it means. How can you say you're a Christian, but yet you don't read what's in that script in that goddamn Bible? They made me sick with this, man. They try to compare black Americans. They're the real indigenous people right of this land, right along with whites, right along with Asians, and all the rest of the people. These people know it, but yet they know how these people got here. These people, like I said again, these people are all about control. They all about control. See, but the real problem is not skin color. The problem is these Babylonian mess, ancient oracle, ancient mystery schools that people need to get rid of. They do articles like this and they divide, and that's what they do. If you're African American, you sit bad, right? but if you're African American, you're a descendants of the slaves. And nothing but the slave servants to the slave masters. Give me the fucking break. I mean, when you call a white person a cracker, you're basically saying all white people own slaves. Maybe so, but I call it bullshit. There are white people who were slaves right along with black slaves. But guess what? They don't want to talk about that. Oh, they said it's just dirty whites. Those are white Americans, right? Who don't got non-German. If they do, they're from descendants from Aryan race. You see what I'm talking about? Next thing you know, it's gonna be Mr. Farrakhan coming up there. Hey, black people are descendants of the tribe of Jabez about 666 trillion years ago from over there in Egypt, because Egypt was a black land. But not only Egypt was a black land, Egypt was a goddamn red land. It's in the Bible. I am the Lord of two lands. Then why does it say that? From black, they said black soil to Red Sea. Why you think Moses separate two different lands, the Red Sea and the black soil, to free his people? To free his people. It don't matter what color it was. Egypt was the slave plantation faculty prison, and that's what it was, and God was against it. Until God told Moses, I'll give you something to say for these people, for let my people go. I hear them crying with the whips of the slave, of the scarment of the blood. I'll give you 10 commandments and they will follow you. Anything you say, I'm going to give you something they can say about, because they directly to me. I'll give you directly my voice to your voice. They can listen to you. They can listen to me. So they freed the slave, but Ramesses were refused. It pissed me off, man. It pissed me off because there's a group of people who just don't learn any damn thing. It showed me, and they believe the whites are descending from the Cargo Islands, where of the land of dogs, trying to say, well, whites are descendants of an Aryan race. If that's the case, you better tell that to Hitler, because last time I checked, Hitler not only Australia but German. This motherfucker got Jew in him, and also got a goddamn African ancestry, and so is Jerry Lee Looper. There are white people who do got some African ancestry, and they can look this up. But no, they don't want to look it up because they're afraid somebody going to call them a nigger lover, because they're not actually 100% white. There are some black people out there got European ancestry. But you know what the funny is? Nobody wants to talk about this. We all in denial. You know what? I'm just done with this article. You can read this topic. These people, man, they got me laughing. I ain't gonna lie. Give me your comments and give me your video response and tell me what you think of this video, all right? Because nobody got no right to tell somebody to live. It's up to God if they decided to go or not. I don't care if it comes to skin cancer, disease, whatever it is. They decide. God decide who the people who can go and who the people gonna stay. It ain't up to them. See, they get on my nerves. They out here, and next thing you know, it's gonna be divided between Caucasian Americans and white European Americans or white Americans. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Then African American, Black American, we're all people. But yet they divide. You see what they doing? They do that same stuff they doing in every other race, like they did the Jews, like they did the Japanese, like they did to every other race. They even did the Middle East people. They did the damn Native Americans. They did to whites, and they damn sure did the blacks and Latinos. They did the same thing. Every other race of people been enslaved. But the real human slavery is the slaving of that mind. It had nothing to do with goddamn skin color. All racism is a color system. It's based how you to treat it as a society, how the world system view you and how they see you, and what do the people you identify, who you identify as based on certain skin tone, what certain skin tone you look. If you don't have a certain skin feature, then you're not this color, not that color. But what gives them the right? I just want to be a human being, regardless what color I am. Fuck this, and I'm out. It's your boy Domination. This is Back in the Basics. Chugging the Deuces. How we do text, baby. Until next time, all right? All right. Peace and I'm out.